When he saw that it would be taken away from him at the very last instant, his fear of failure led him into doing what he did.
It works really well for him, though, because he's idealized and all that sort of stuff. That, especially the mention of the broken general, that works really well. Although, it could have worked better if he wasn't just a jerk. But, so, I guess that's that. For my character, he does not matter. I do not care what my character is. I don't care if I'm a ghost, if I'm a projection, if I'm a high one. It's not a reveal. And the game is playing it as if it's like, oh no. Mostly, I think, because like this, I'm saying this and I'm thinking, if this were a first-person shooter, just a normal game, story-driven, I wouldn't have this problem. My character would play itself and all the things would happen as the game wants it to happen. But the problem is I am role-playing right now. Oh, I see. I see what I'm doing wrong here. I am role-playing my character. I'm immersed in my character. But at the same time, I'm doing something wrong, fundamentally wrong. Is that... that kind of is that's a failure of mine, actually. There's something that I'm doing wrong here. Basically, I don't care. I never do. I don't care about, like, when I roleplay a character, about, well, in video games anyway, about what happened before. Because that's, you know, that's not part of my memories, as if I were born at the beginning of the game. And if I can choose what happened before, I guess I can play with that. But usually in RPGs, you can't choose what happens before character creation. So you're just going through and you have the things that happen in the game, and then you play off of that. So imagine, I don't know, playing Morrowind, or let's talk about Skyrim. Imagine playing Skyrim, and at the end you get this reveal. Your character, the Dragonborn, is really the son of this particular dragon, or made out of farts, or you died and were resurrected. It doesn't matter. I think I'm picking on it because of that particular nonsense about dying and being resurrected. I'm being resurrected and controlled magically. That doesn't, like, come on, seriously, come on. If you drown, especially if you, like, they use the most common resurrection thing in humanity. It's the drowning. When you drown, you literally die. You literally die. You are dead. You are dead. You're not pronounced dead, but that's the pronouncing of dead. That doesn't make, like, when you drown, your heart stops, your brain stops. Well, the brain doesn't stop because the brain is weird and it's complicated, but there's chemical reactions still going on, but it's starving of oxygen, which is what makes it work, and among other things. And that's why if you're drowned, or if your heart stops, specifically the heart stops for more than, I think, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on if you're doing CPR and all this sort of stuff. That's why you get brain damage, even if you get resurrected after that. That's literally what happens when you drown. You can be resurrected. So we're not even, like, the magical of this, the whole magic of this is the controlling of me, not even the resurrecting. And of course, this is all literal, as I was saying before, and like, this is a projection, which also doesn't matter that it's a projection. Like, it doesn't change our experiences in any way. So but let's not get into that one. But like, effectively, we're gonna be teleported back to the bottom of the ocean at the end of the game. But that's just, I think that's just, anyway. Then this means I am responsible. It means the opposite, honestly. I am just being controlled. I caused the cleansing. We're just being controlled.
You are not to blame, prophetess. You did what countless others did before you. And you did it because you thought it was the right thing to do.
That's...
Only one thing is different. In all the time I have been here, never before did a projection realize its own nature.
I didn't realize it. You told me.
You were meant to dissolve, like the rest of mankind. Yet, here you stand, and I tell you the truth. This was never meant to happen.
I suppose that what he means is never before has a projection come here to talk to him. Because that would make more sense. Then that means that the beacon was a trap set by the High Ones from the very beginning.
No, it is as I said. For as long as the cycle has existed, so has the beacon. It is an element of the game, and it has the power to end it, whether in favor of the High Ones or in favor of mankind. Yet for as long as I have been trapped here, the latter has never happened.
That would have been a reveal, and might be a reveal, if we managed to stop it. We save mankind, but somehow the cycle continues. That would be good. Can you imagine that? Like what he says right now about the saving or in favor of mankind has never happened. While he's here, maybe it happened before he was here. Maybe mankind has saved itself somehow, and then we get a reveal, and that's the sort of reveal that actually has to do with what we're trying to do. That would be cool. Maybe that's what the veiled woman is. Since we're talking about the consciousness and like the common consciousness of humanity being uploaded into a computer or whatever. So the High Ones wanted us to oh, and by the way, about the reason why I was thinking about this before, but he was talking, so I didn't want to interrupt. The reason why the I am dead is self-contradictory is because he's talking to me as you talk to a person. And as you talk to somebody on the phone, maybe, because we're a projection, or we're not a projection, we're on the phone. The thing that he's seeing is the phone. Let's put it like that. But we're not dead. If we are our consciousness is still doing things. I guess because it's fantasy, it works to be like, oh, you're just a ghost. So I guess that makes some sense. But still, it's self-contradictory. Our body is dead, but not us. But if it's explained away as in like, oh, it's your soul that goes around, I guess that makes sense. But anyway, the thing is, like, if we were indeed dead and he was just talking to an actual projection, he wouldn't be saying you were dead. He'd be saying the person that you were based on is dead. You are not really a person. You are a program or something. In other words, make it all mystical. But you are a program, he would say, made by the High Ones, based off of all that nonsense about wanting something. But yeah, the High Ones wanted us to reconstruct the beacon, and they made me do it.
They gave you impulses.
They programmed me
in the right direction.
It's magic.
Those who know a person's past know which strings to pull.
I wish it were that simple. What about the ancient starlings? They managed to flee the cycle, didn't they? How? Wait. The starlings are more ancient than he is.
The starlings, in their time, were called the Yalam Rache. And yes, they manipulated the game in their favor. Their goals were similar to mine when I created the Goliath. They were a small circle of highly intelligent craftsmen and mages. And just like myself, they did not think the cycle could be won by the beacon alone. So by unknown means, they fled into the sky and created something that protected their city from the cleansing.
What happened to them? Are they really the ancestors of our starlings? I don't know where that's coming from. What do you mean, our starlings? Wait. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't understand, because we saw one starling. But, like, does that mean that... I don't understand. But let's see what he says.
Yes. But knowledge about their history is sparse, since the Star City was almost beyond the reach of my eye. But I know that its first centuries were glorious. The Yalam Rashe lived in harmony, and their society was the pinnacle of all that mankind could be.
They're the
With
best
time,
games.
however, their population grew. They became too numerous for their small city, and so they invented their golden rules,
The
which were
Yaflumpa
supposed
Flap.
to control
That's what they
their
were called.
growth. Having children was regulated now, and those who were found guilty of a crime were punished heavily. The worst sentence
That doesn't sound
was
like a good
being
society.
exiled. The convicted were robbed of their memories and sent back to Earth.
I guess they fell.
This is where the starlings of your world come from, do you see? And this is why they all feel this longing to return to a
Oh, they're
far
exiles.
distant place in the stars. It is an ancestral memory.
Yeah, but the sons of them. It's not a memory. It's not an instinct. Because the sons of the fallen, I guess. That explains a lot. It doesn't explain though how they were all dead. What happened to them? Why were they dead?
I do not know. As I said, my knowledge about the starlings was always limited. All I do know is that one day they were gone. I could not feel them anymore. By that time, their society had become but a shadow of what it once was. But whether they destroyed themselves or left for someplace else, I will never find out.
Get the impression he might be a little bit biased when he says, "Oh, they were the best." I bet they weren't the best. I bet they sucked. That whole nonsense about punishing the people who... The golden rule. They call it the golden rule, for one. Anyway, still, they weren't the best. Nobody calls it the golden rule. and is the best. You know, if you're the best, you're going to come up with a better name. Yeah. Have you ever... I don't understand what this line is supposed to be, but I'm going to say it. This is ridiculous. Have you ever listened to yourself?
Oh, believe me, I have. I've done nothing else for a very, very long time. But it is true, whether you want to believe it or not.
I don't think it is ridiculous.
In time, you would have noticed it. The wrinkles in your skin would not have become any deeper, nor your hair any whiter. And if the cleansing were to be stopped, you would continue to exist forever.
Oh, not forever. I die a lot. I die a lot.
What reason would I have to lie to you?
No, yeah, that's why I didn't want to click on that, because because I don't find it ridiculous. I think it makes total sense within the confines of the game. Like, yeah, I appreciate that there's an option to be incredulous in the face of the end game reveals. That's not an option that you see all that much. Can you imagine? Let's see. Trying to think of an end of the game. Well, it's a very exposition-heavy ending. Morrowind, I was talking about Morrowind before. Morrowind does have a lot of exposition at the end, but you don't say, "Oh, that's all nonsense. You're just lying." That sounds hogwash. Also, because there's no reason for them to lie. I mean, I guess there is in this case. In this particular case, there is a reason for him to lie. If he's still part of the game, if he's still controlling me, he would just lie and say, "Oh, you must stop it." And I would be the one. Like when you, it's tricky because you start double guessing or second guessing yourself, and I can think of one game where that happens. And if you've never played Legacy of Kain or Soul Reaver, the last game is called Legacy of Kain. No, actually, is it Soul Reaver? No, Legacy of Kain Defiance, I think, the last game. Anyway, go and play that because it's amazing. Or watch YouTube Let's Plays, which is what I did because I don't have PS2. And it's all about the second guessing yourself, precisely regarding this, who's controlling whom, and it is impossible for you to know. Like, and different people will make different choices, and I can't personally I can't criticize anybody in a situation like Aranthiel to second guess himself, or if he were talking to this dude. I wouldn't criticize him if he second-guessed himself and be like, no, you are part of the plan. You're telling me to do this. I will do the opposite because you're lying to me. Because, like, you can start doing that sort of mind games. because never know what you trust, who to trust, and for me, I just immediately when I'm personally in a situation like this, when it's out of my control, I relinquish responsibility for myself, personal responsibility anyway. Okay, screw this. I'm just gonna do whatever because it's not in my control. It's like throwing a die. You just throw it. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna it doesn't matter. It's not your hand to play. Somebody's playing you. So yeah. Unless, of course, it is in your control, unless you can figure it out. But because we have a very limited, it's actually not very limited, but we have a limited amount of questions we can make. We're sort of subject to the whims of the writers here. Maybe there is a reason for all this. Again, with a reason. What is the reason? The reason is that the High Ones want to kill everybody so they can be more of them. They are like this. It's good. Maybe we can still stop the cleansing, though.
Oh, stop it. No, it is too late for that. By the name of the sun, it is so ironic that the veiled woman did not lead you here earlier.
That's not ironic.
It is over, prophetess. You are strong. But regardless of how long your power can protect you from the light of the cleansing, eventually you will dissolve too. Even if... Wait. No. Maybe you are right. Maybe there is a way.
He just now thought of it. Because I said, maybe... And he's like, oh, how did I not think about this before? What way?
But... no. It would be pointless.
What way?
Forgive me, I have to think. Yes, there could be a way.
What way?
What I told you is true. Here on Earth, you would not survive the cleansing. But there is one place where you could. The Star City. I know that you brought something back from your journey there. The escape pods. And I know that they can also take you back there, for I have seen the Yalam Rashe, the ancient starlings, do so. Whatever has protected the city over all these millennia, it would protect you too. Yes, you could survive it. By the face of time, you could.
By the name of the sun, by the something or other. But why would I do that? To what end? That wouldn't stop the cleansing.
No, it would not. But that is irrelevant.
Is it?
You are fleshless, a projection. And just like me, time cannot touch you. Age cannot kill you. And thus you could succeed where I have failed. You could wait for the cleansing to be over. And then create a new humanity.
The what now?
Create a new humanity. It is only a matter of time.
He speaks as if I hadn't heard him.
The cycle starts. New life will come forth. First, simple life. Then human.
Yeah, it's like all
And
level
just
ups
like
and
the
things.
civilizations before them, they will also fall victim to the High Ones.
Because it's magic.
Because they will have the same weaknesses as we do.
No, it's mostly because it's
But
magic.
not with your help.
Because I will break the
You
magic.
could be a god to them.
Not this
You
again.
could guide their ascent. You could shape a mankind free of egos and weaknesses. And by doing so, you would deprive the High Ones of their power.
You know what I'll do?
Just imagine.
You know what I'll
in
do?
this new world, there would be no need for a beacon. Because the High Ones simply would not have any strings to pull on.
I have the best.
Mankind
plan.
will defeat them by becoming superior.
I have a better plan. I will make a civilization of cat people. Actually, mostly just cat. And they will have no weaknesses, because they will be cats. And so, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. And we're gonna have castles made of ginger, and cars made out of ginger, and it's gonna be amazing. The High Ones are gonna be like, there's no people, because there will be people. There's gonna be the cat people. more cat than people. But they don't know because they're racist pricks, and they're just like, oh, they don't look like humans, so they're not gonna do this pull stringy thingy. That sounds like the zaniest thing. Don't do that. Don't go there, game. Please don't go there. Please. Also, a mankind without ego. Ego means I. Ego means literally I. That's literally what it means. Literally, obviously. In terms of what it's saying here, it means selfishness. However, only in a system with level ups of evolution can you create something without selfishness. Because if you have natural selection, the people without selfishness will die. Or the animals without selfishness. It's called the... What's it called? Like the... Survival of the fittest. Yes, that's basically natural selection. It's called survival of the fittest. If... Like, that's the reason why... necrophages, that's the one, I think. Like hyenas and vultures and stuff like that. They survive... They descend from animals that are not necrophage, but their mutations that created their species has allowed them to be the fittest and survive. It's a weird thing, a specific thing. It's not that weird, all things considered. It's like, oh, they eat dead flesh. Yeah, well, so do humans. But let's not get there. It's anyway. What I mean is, if I am gonna shape all this stuff, I might as well make cat people. I'm gonna make cat people. Am I gonna make cat people? What is that supposed to mean about the ego thing?
The high ones reap, we sow.
It's magic.
It is our weakness.
It
that
is
make
magic.
The high ones strong. Our ongoing fragility.
So magic.
And if not for that, the high ones would be powerless.
If they weren't powerful, they
You
would
could
be
be the
powerful.
one to create a humanity like that.
I don't...
Altruism instead of greed. Self-responsibility instead of the continuous search for an enemy.
This is
Awareness
the zaniest,
instead of blindness.
to be honest. The continuous search for an enemy. Only in a world where you massacre a village full of men, women, and children by mistake do people actually search for an enemy. That's not a defining aspect of humanity, searching for an enemy. In fact, we sort of run away from the enemy. That's how we are the fittest that survives. Because the one that searches for the enemy sees a huge dinosaur. Well, actually not dinosaurs, but the mammoth. Sees a huge mammoth and is like, oh, that's the biggest enemy. I'm gonna go there. I found the enemy. And dies. So no fittest there. Very dead. The survival bit goes away. So yeah. So what makes you believe I could do that? Yeah. Through which mechanisms do you propose that I shape the evolution of society? What key in my... Well, I say society, but I really mean the species. What key in my keyboard do I press? Lightborn tried to do the same thing, and they failed. That's actually... They didn't. Not the same thing at all.
The Lightborn tried to force their ideals onto an already rotten people.
That's nonsense.
Just like the Pyrean Sun Priest and the countless false deities before them.
That's just nonsense.
You cannot save a tree whose roots have already withered. But with you as a deity to lead this new mankind, it would be entirely different.
That's nonsense.
You could completely change what it means to be human. And would it not be presumptuous to rob the world of this chance? Simply because you are afraid of failing?
Oh yeah, I'm so afraid of failing.
Believe me, I would give a lot for this chance.
Yeah, it seems like you're projecting a little bit there, mate. Just wants me as a vessel for his own ambitions. Yeah, what the game is saying here is that humans, as we know it, the moral of the story is the nature of humanity is being scum. Rotten. In the words of the game, rotten. Nope. Certainly not when you do the whole enemy, looking for an enemy and all that other stuff. Nope. Yeah. I mean, sure, whatever. That's the moral of the game. But that's a really weak moral, honestly. Yeah. That would mean leaving mankind to die. Well, no, it wouldn't. Oh, right. Yeah, it would. Because if I don't try to save them. Yeah, let's say that. Still, that would mean leaving mankind to die.
No, they are already dead,
Okay,
damn it.
they're dead already.
Arinthiel has lit the beacon.
Sorry,
And unlike
fine.
anything else you
I
could do
didn't-
right now, this would be a chance for permanent change.
Well,
By the face of time, do not let all of this become meaningless.
it's not
Every
meaningless.
second you waste doubting lessens your chance to get to safety.
It's fine. Somebody else will do it. It's not meaningless because it happened already too much. Already, over and over again. It's just the same thing. What exactly makes you believe that I'd survive in the Star City? Those machines have tried to kill us.
Yes, because that old starling did harm to the city by trying to destroy a crystal. That awoke the Guardians. But they are asleep now. I can feel it.
My god.
You would be safe. Believe me.
It says believe me a lot as well, but I'm okay with the believe me.